Hello everyone, this is Varsha and welcome to Programming Knowledge. So in the previous tutorial, we learned about the shadow DOM objects. In this tutorial, we're going to understand some of the important Selenium commands which is frequently used to write the test scripts. Now these Selenium commands consist of the browser commands, the navigation commands and the web element commands. Today we're going to understand the browser commands, like what are browser commands, what are the different types of browser commands with their syntax. Also we will implement some set of test cases, and then we will understand the difference between the close method and the quit method. So let's get started. Now first let us understand what are browser commands. Browser commands are something that are very basic operations of the WebDriver, which includes the closing of the browser, performing some few tasks. Those few tasks is like get title, to quit, to manage, to close the browser, to get the current URL, to get the page source. So these are some of the operations, these are some of the few tasks that we perform on the Selenium WebDriver. So, and these are some of the lists that is given over here. This is the list that is given over here. Now, if you write, for example, if I write driver dot, you can see this list. So these are the different, this list which is getting highlighted over here. So these are the different browser commands that is present over here. Okay, so these are browser commands. Now I have just created this basic notes, this basic sheet which consists of the browser commands, the navigational commands, the web element commands, which consists of the commands, the description, the syntax, and what parameter it accepts and what it returns. It will be a very quick recap for you while going in interviews, because they frequently ask these questions like what is the difference between the close, the quit method, the submit and the click method, and what is the difference between find element and find elements. So these are some of the differences which we will cover, and also we will study these commands. So this is the sheet that I have prepared. I will give the link of this sheet in the description box. You can download the PDF format. Also, I have uploaded on my drive, so I will give the link of this drive as well. So you can get a hang of all those commands whenever you go for interviews. Now coming to the test cases. These are the test cases which we will execute. And while executing, we will cover these commands. These are the commands like the get title, the get current URL, the get page source, the close, and the quit. Now get window handle and get window handles is a part of the browser command, but it is a bit complicated. I will cover that in the later tutorial. So for now, we need to get a hang of get title, get current URL, get page source, close, and quit. So by executing these test cases, we will create the test scripts of these test cases. We will understand these commands also. Okay, first test case that we have is the open the Chrome browser. Okay, in which we use the system.set property and the WebDriver is equal to new Chrome driver. These are the two commands that we use in opening the Chrome browser. Then navigate to the URL. To navigate to the URL, we use the driver.get command, right? So this is the part of the browser command. Next, we will maximize the window. Then next, we will verify the current URL of the page. For this, we will use the get current URL command, okay, through if statement, okay. Then we have the verify the title of the page. Now to verify the title of the page, we will use the get title command, okay, and we will verify it through if statement. Next, we will print the length of the title of the page. In this, we will use the length command. We will have a look at that, okay. Next, we will print the page source of the page, in which we will use the get page source command. Also, we will print the length of the page source, okay. Next, we have the close the browser and quit the browser. Now, we will understand the difference also practically. Okay, so this is the web page that I want to automate today. Now, I have created a Java class in my package com.selenium, in which I have named it as Selenium Tutorials 10. I'll be executing my test scripts over here in this Selenium Tutorial 10. The first test case was to open the Chrome browser, for which we use the system.set property, in which we give the key and the value. The key is the webdriver.chrome.driver and the value is the executable Chrome driver file. Okay. Next, we have the WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Why do we write the statement? I have explained in the previous tutorial. You can have a look at that tutorial. Okay, the next command is that we have to navigate to the URL. So what I'll do is I'll write driver dot get, and I will write my URL in this get. This is the first method, okay, to navigate to the URL. The second method that you can do, navigate is, I can assign the URL to a string variable. Like I'll write string, I will name that variable as URL, and I will place my URL in this variable. Next, I will write driver dot get URL. So I can navigate to the URL through this way as well as this way. Both the ways it will work. For example, so let's see whether we can navigate or not. So by using this method, driver dot get method. Okay, so Chrome browser is launched and also it is navigated to this page. I will comment this and let's see. Okay, so our Chrome browser is also launched and it is also navigated. So these are the two methods to which you can navigate to the URL. Now get method, I will just comment this. For now we will use this driver.get method. Now get method, now this commands open the specified URL in the browser. It accepts string as a parameter and it returns nothing. Okay, and this is the basic syntax of navigating to the URL, and it is a part of the browser command. So next test case that we have is to maximize the window. So I'll write driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Okay, so the next command is verify the current URL of the page. URL of the page. Let's first find the URL and then we will verify. So I'll write driver dot get current URL, and I will store this in a string variable, string URL of the page, and I will print this. Okay, let's see what is the output. So our Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized. And here it is. The URL of the page is this. This is the URL of the page. Now let's verify the URL. To verify the URL, we will use the if statement. So I will write if URL of the page dot equals. Now I will write the URL over here. Now, if I was executing this statement, this navigation statement, what did I do over here is that I have written string URL, right? So what would I do over here? I will simply write URL. Okay. So this means that the URL of the page, that is the output that we are getting, the actual output and the expected output will be matched. The expected output is this which is stored in this URL variable, and the actual output is stored in the URL of the page, right? So if I would execute this statement, I would have written this way. But since I'm executing driver.get command, I'm not writing it this way. I'm not storing it in a string variable and then writing driver.get, and inside get I'm writing the URL. The parameter that I'm giving is the URL, that is a string parameter. So I'm not executing it this way. I'm executing through driver.get command. So I'm not writing it this way. So I'll just simply write what output do I want. This is the expected output that I'm writing over here, and the actual output that I'm getting is the URL of the page. Okay, now if the actual and the expected matches, so what I want is I want the output as the URL is verified, and in else I want the URL is not verified. So now let's execute this. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized. And now let's see the URL of the pages. This is the URL and the URL is verified. That means the actual URL that we are getting, that is this, and the expected URL, that is this. Both is matching. Okay. This is the expected URL and this is the actual URL. Both are matching. That's the reason why we have got the URL is verified. For example, if I just write it this way, now let's see if it works. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized. Okay, and here you can see the URL is not verified. Why? Because my actual, that is, this is my actual, and the expected is not matching. That's the reason why the output is the URL is not verified. The next test case is verify the title of the page. So first we will find the title of the page. So I'll write driver dot get title, and I will store this in a string variable. I will write string title is equal to driver dot get title. Next I will print it. So let's execute it. My Chrome browser is launched. So here it is. See, this is the URL of the page. The URL is verified, and then here the title of the page is Tools QA. This is the title of the page. Now, how do you see the title of the pages? So I'll just inspect, and here in the head tab, here you can see title, Tools QA title. This is the title of the page. This is the title of the page, and the title that we got is the Tools QA. So this is how you can find the title of the page on the web page. Okay. Next, we have to verify the title, right? So I'll use the if statement. I'll write if title dot equals. Okay. So this is the title. Let me copy this. And the output that I want, if the actual and the expected is matching, the title is verified. In the else statement, I will write the title is not verified. Okay. So here we are verifying the title of the page. So let's see the output of it. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized. And here you can see the title is verified because the expected output and the actual output is matching. Okay. So now next test case that we have is we need to print the length of the title of the page. Okay, to print the length of the title of the page, we're going to use the length command. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write driver dot get title dot length. Okay, and I will store it in the integer type of variable because the answer that we're going to get is in integers. So I'm going to write int and title length is equal to driver.getTitle.length, and let's print it. So let's execute this. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized. And let's see. The length of the title of the page is 7. Now it is 7 because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the length of the title of the page is 7. So now the next test case that we have is to print the page source of the page. Now for that, I'm going to write driver dot get page source. I will store this in a string type of variable. String, I will write ps is equal to driver dot page source. Next, let's print it. Okay, so now let's execute this. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated and it's maximized. And here you can see the page source. This is the entire page source that here you can see is this. It prints the entire code of the page. Okay, so it's quite long. Now we have to print the length of this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write driver dot get page source dot length, and I'm going to store it in the integer type of variable. So I'll write int page source length is equal to driver dot get page source dot length. Okay, now let's print it. The length of the page source is length. So this is the Chrome browser. Now let's see here, this is the length of the page source. Now we won't sit and count, but since it's too long, so this is the length of the page source. Now the next test case that we have is we have to click on the new tab, right? So we'll use the click command over here. The click command is not a part of the browser command, it is a part of a web element command, but since we have to know the difference between the close and the quit, so we are going to execute this command. Now this is the new tab command, so I'll just inspect this. I'll go to selectors hub. Here I can see the relative XPath. I'll just copy this relative XPath. I will write driver dot find element by dot XPath, and I will place my relative XPath over here. And what I want to do is I want to click, so I'll write click, and let's see. So my Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated, and it's maximized, and the new tab is clicked. So here you can see there is a new tab. Okay, so first we will see the close command. Okay, now if I write driver dot close, just look at it very closely. So I'll just write thread dot sleep, and I'll write 100 over here, so that you just get to know that how close method works. Okay, it adds the exception, throws interrupted exception over here, and we're going to use a thread.sleep. Now thread.sleep is used in multi-threading. If you know your Java's concept really well, we use this thread.sleep. It causes the currently executing thread to sleep for some specified time. So here I have specified the time of 100 milliseconds. So now let's see the output. I want you to closely look at the how driver.close works. So our Chrome browser is launched. And the new tab is open, and here you can see there was a parent tag over here, the before tag. Okay, let me increase the timing over here. So my Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated. Now this is my parent tab, and this is my child tab. Now look at it. This tab will be closed through close.driver command. If you can see, let me show it to you again. I'm executing the command now. This is my parent tag, that is this browser windows is my parent tag. And this is my child tag. Now through driver.close, the parent tag will be closed, but my child is still open. Okay. Now I'll comment this and I will write driver. Now we'll use the quit method. So I'll just write driver dot quit, and I will write thread dot sleep. Okay. Now let's run this command. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated, and this is my child tag, that's my parent tag, and here you will see driver.quit closes both the tabs. So this is the parent tag. Now here when we perform the driver.close command and the driver.quit command, there are two tabs. Okay, this is the parent tab, and here when I click on new tab, this is the child tab. Okay, so when I write driver.close command, it will just close the parent tag. It will not close the child tab. Okay. Whereas when I write driver.quit command, it will close the parent tab as well as the child tab. So let's have a recap of what we have done till now. Now the first test case was to open the Chrome browser, in which I have written the system.set property, in which I have given the key and the value. The key is given that the webdriver.chrome.driver, and the value is the Chrome driver executable file. Next, we have to navigate to the URL. We can navigate to the URL through two ways. The first way, we can do driver.get command. Now this driver.get command, this opens a specified URL in the browser, and this accepts a string as a parameter. Here you can see this is the string as a parameter, and it returns nothing. Okay. So this is the first method where we can write the driver.get command. The get command is a part of the browser command. And the second method that we can use is we can assign the URL to a string variable. Now here I have created a string variable, like I have created string URL, and I have assigned the URL to this string variable, and then I have written driver.get, and I have written this variable in my get. The parameter that here I'm using is the string. Okay, so basically it accepts string as a parameter and it returns nothing. This is about the get command. Next, we have maximized the window. For that we have used the driver.manage.window.maximize method. Okay. Next, we have to find the URL of the page. What is the URL of the page? This is the page and this is the URL. So we had to find the URL of this page. So for that, I have used the getCurrentURL method. Now this method fetches the string representing the current URL which is opened in the browser. Okay, and this accepts nothing as a parameter. There is no parameter given over here, but it returns a string value. Here you can see in the output. The URL of the page. So it returns the string value and it accepts nothing as a parameter. And what does the getCurrentURL method does? It fetches the string representing the current URL which is opened in the browser. This page was opened, right? So it was fetching this string. This is the current URL of the page. So for that we have given a string variable, that is the string URL of the page, and I have written driver.getCurrentURL and I have printed the URL over here. Now to verify the URL, I have used the if command, in which I have written the URL of the page in which I am getting the actual output. And here I am matching the actual and the expected output. Now I'm using the equals method, dot equals. Now I'm writing over here the expected output that I want. Now if the expected and the actual output matches, the output will be the URL is verified, and if not, the URL is not verified. Now here it's matched, so it is written the URL is verified. So the next is that we have to find the title of the page and we have to verify it. Now to find the title of the page, I will be using the getTitle command. Now the getTitle command is used to retrieve the title of the web page that the user is currently working on. Now this is the page. Now when I inspect this, here in the head tag, you can see the title. And here it is. This is the title of the page, that is the tools QA. This is the title of the page, okay? Now to get this title, I have used the getTitle command, which retrieves the title of the web page. Now it accepts nothing as a parameter. Here can you see any parameters? No, right? So it accepts nothing as a parameter, but it returns a string value. Here you can see the value. The title of the page is this. This is the string value that it is returning. So to get the title of the page, I have written string title. I have created a string variable title. I have named it as title, and I have written driver.getTitle. The title is stored in this string variable. Then I'm printing the string variable over here. To verify it, I'm using the if statement. First, I will write the actual output, that is the title, dot equals the expected output that I want. The expected output is over here. This is the expected output. Okay. So here the expected output is written. When the expected and the actual output is matching, the output will be the title is verified, and if not, the title is not verified. Like here you can see the title is verified. Now to print the length of the title, I'm using the length command. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an integer type of a variable, and I'll name it as integer length, and I'll write driver.getTitle.length. By writing length, I'm actually fetching the total length of the title. It returns the length of the string. Okay. Now to print it, I'll write system.out.println. The length of the title is, and I'll write the variable that is the title length. And here the output is. The length of the title is 7. Okay. Next is the page source. Now basically page source is a command, it is a browser command which returns the source code of the page. So this is the page, and this is the entire source code of the page. So it will return this entire source code of the page. So for this we'll use the get page source. And this get page source, it accepts nothing as a parameter. Is there any parameter over here? No, right? So it accepts nothing as a parameter, but it returns a string value. And the string value, this is the entire string value that is given over here. Now to print the page source, what I have written is string ps is equal to driver.getPageSource. I have used the getPageSource command, and I will print this variable, this string variable. Then to find the length of the page source, what I have done, I have used the length method. I'll write driver.getPageSource.length, and I store this length in the integer type of a variable named it as ps length, and I've printed over here. So the total length is displayed over here. This is the total length. So these were the commands, the browser commands. Next we will learn about the click and the next we will learn about the close and the quit command. The difference between the close and the quit method. Okay. For that we will click this new tab. So first, what did I do is I clicked this new tab. So for that, I inspected this element and I wrote the XPath, and I've performed the click operation on this web element. Next, to differentiate between the close and the quit, what I did is, let me execute this again. First, I've written driver.close. Now then I've written thread.sleep, which causes the currently executing thread to sleep for a specified time. For example, here I have written the 5000 milliseconds. Okay. Now let me execute this command and see the difference again. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's maximized. This is my parent and this is my child tab. My parent tab will be closed. So this is close, driver.close, which means that the method terminates the current browser window. Okay. Whereas in quit, it will terminate all the browsers. So let's execute this. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. And here you can see this is the new tab. And through driver.quit, both the tabs are closed. Okay, so this is the major difference between the close and the quit. The close in both these commands, they accept nothing as a parameter, and it returns also nothing as a parameter. This simply closes the tabs and the windows. So this is all about the browser commands that we have studied till now. We have studied about the get, then we have studied about the get title, the get current URL, and we have studied about the get page source. Then we have learned the difference between the close and the quit command. Now let's understand the difference. So the driver.quit command closes all the browsers, whereas the close method shall close the browser which is in focus. That was the parent tab was in focus, right? So it closes that browser which is in focus. Now the quit method closes all the active WebDriver instances, whereas the close method closes the active WebDriver instances. So this is the difference between the quit and the close command. So in the next tutorial, we will learn about the navigational commands, like what is navigation command, what are the different types of navigation command with the syntax. We will also implement the same test cases. We will implement the different test cases, and then we will understand the difference between the navigate to command and the get command. So until then, goodbye. Please like, share, and subscribe this video.